Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today, man, I am going to be talking about the new Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection release, right? Now, I had some comments and some people asking me on Twitter over the last couple weeks, oh, Optimus, are you going to be playing the new Battlefront remake, or are you going to be putting that out as gameplay or anything like that? And of course I was. I mean, this is honestly, at least Battlefront 2, is one of my favorite video games of all time. And that's why, in this situation, I'm actually kind of pissed off. Like, I'm pretty mad about the outcome of this one because this one just feels like a complete slap in the fucking face. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, man. It's not often when a video game is not good or something that, like, it actually pisses me off, but before I even get into the problems of what we're dealing with in this whole thing, I just want to remind everybody watching this video that Star Wars Battlefront 2 in specific is older than many of you watching this video, okay? It's kind of insane to say because, at least for me, and I'm sure some of you also watching, Battlefront and Battlefront 2 were two massive games in your guys' childhood, but these are games that are old enough to vote for president if they were people, right? And what we got in this classic collection release is one of the worst launches I have ever seen for a video game ever. I can't even exaggerate when I say that to you. This is a complete slap in the face, not only to the Star Wars franchise. This isn't just a slap in the face to the tons of fans out there that were excited to play these re-release titles, but it's a slap in the face to all of gaming because this is just such a pathetic piece of shit, in all truthfulness, that before anything, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys right now, if you're gonna go on Steam and you're gonna buy this classic collection for $35, Don't even waste your fucking time. Don't even waste your money. Don't waste any of it. Just go and get the classic 2005 release of Battlefront 2 off Steam. It costs $10. It works better than the re-released versions that came out yesterday. And on top of that, you get to save $25. So I just had to say that before anything. But where do I even begin with this steaming pile of shit that we were delivered? Okay, so, I mean, there's some minor things that I could comment on and I could, make a big deal out of. I'm really not going to. The only one that really kind of irked me a little bit was the, loading screen sound being different than the original one. I mean, that's not a huge deal, right? But what is a huge deal and what pisses me off when I pay $35 for a game that came out 20 years ago, and this is supposed to be, showing homage and, bringing it to a new audience and whatnot, is when the game doesn't work, okay? So the game came out last night, and at release for this game, there were a total of 3 whole servers online on the Steam release, which meant that, a good 200 or so people could possibly get into a lobby and play the fucking game that they just bought. So that's not even the end-all be-all of it, but this is right at launch. This is right at the beginning of the entire thing. So tens of thousands of people are waiting to play this game and have already bought it and were ready to go. And yeah, a couple hundred of them at most could get into a lobby and play. Now, this has since been fixed. There are now more servers available on the PC release. And keep in mind, I'm reviewing the Steam release of this game. I don't know how it's working on consoles. I don't play console games really anymore. But on PC, man, this is just fucking inexcusable. And yeah, they roll out all these servers and everything, and you would think that, oh, okay, now we're finally getting into the real game. We can finally play it. Oh, you would be sorely mistaken, because even with all of the server rollouts, most people still can't reliably play the game at all. So I get on, and keep in mind, I saw all the complaining and shit. I saw the whole rollout happen live. I was up recording gameplay when this game came out so I could make videos, and I just decided, you know what, fuck it. I'll wait until later in the day. I'll go to bed. I'll get my 8 hours or whatever, and I'll wake up and hopefully they got this whole thing figured out, right? Well, I wake up and guess what? It's somehow even worse than I expected. And if you can get into a lobby to play a game, which many people can't, I was lucky enough to get into one last night and try to play it. If you're lucky enough to get into one, you'll notice that every single player in the entire lobby is playing on a 150 plus ping, meaning that basically nothing you do in the game is actually happening in real time. Like, you're fucking bouncing all over the place, you're lagging heavily. I'm shooting my gun at people, my blaster, I guess is the right term for it, but I'm shooting at people and they're not fucking connecting. The bullets aren't registering when they're hitting people. People using their fucking, like, the lightsabers and the hero characters and shit like that, right? They're fucking glitching across the map and killing people instantaneously because everybody's lagging to fucking hell. The game itself is bugged and glitched to all hell. Anytime that you die and you try to respawn, at least in my instance, the graphics completely glitch out behind the fucking screen, and it causes this random, like, flashing, glitchy pattern that I'm sure if you had some sort of, like, you know, seizure issue or something, it could probably trigger that. I can't remember what that's called off the top of the head, the whole, like, light sensitivity shit or whatever, right? Epilepsy, I think. It could probably give you an issue with that. So if you even try to play this game online, which keep in mind, that's what everybody repurchased this for. I mean, I already have Battlefront 2 on both the PlayStation 2 and on PC. So the reason that I even bought this, like, remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it, right? This new classic collection is because I wanted to play the game online. I wanted to be able to play it with other people. I mean, you're not going to be able to do that on the original release on PS2 or whatever, but the multiplayer is actually so fucking broken inside of this game right now, and it is so unplayable that I have been relegated to only playing the single player mode of this game, which, keep in mind, you know, I already own 2 different fucking copies of from back in the day. I didn't need to repurchase a new version of that for $35. So I made the mistake of wanting to play the video game online, okay? And I'm sure many of you probably also made that same mistake. And I mean, it's so bad, dude, that, like, because I haven't checked even today. Last night, I was looking at the Steam review, I guess, for this, because obviously, as people review it, it gives you, like, a percentage of the feedback or whatever that's positive or negative or whatever, telling you kind of like what the fan base is thinking. Last night, this was at an abysmal 20% positive reviews, meaning 80% of people thought it was bad. Today, it's at 19%, so looks like it might be trending even further downward at this point, man. The aiming even doesn't fucking work, which is incredible. Now, I don't know if I have to remind you guys of this if you're watching this video, but this is a 20-year-old video game at this point, Battlefront 2. A 20-year-old game, okay? This game has existed for the vast majority of my lifetime. And somehow, they re-released this game, and they not only didn't improve upon the 2005 release of Battlefront 2, they somehow regressed. They made it worse than a game that came out in 2005. Now, I want to point out, right, that it wasn't technically EA who made this game, because that's kind of what I thought at first. It's actually a company called Asper, okay? And I've looked them up. They don't seem to have the best reputation as developers. Personally, I think this is the first game I've ever played that they've worked on. I don't know for sure. I don't know the, like, full list of games that they've made or worked on, but somehow this Asper developer company made a 2005 title not only work worse than the 2005 release, but play worse than the 2005 release, and to an extent look worse than the 2005 release. I feel like this could actually look better if you ran the classic collection, or not the classic one, but like the actual classic release. That's how fucking confusing all of this has gotten, because they just rename everything the same fucking thing. But I feel like if you took the original version of the game and, like, ran it at a normal resolution, it probably would look better. I don't even get how this got fucked up as bad as it did. Like, this isn't a brand new game or anything either. Like, I can kind of understand if you build a game from the ground up, like, oh, you know, we had a little bit of problems with certain things, but this is a critically acclaimed title that came out 20 fucking years ago, and somehow you couldn't make it run before you launched it. Like, you couldn't make it fucking work before you released it. Keep in mind, for $35 for these 2 titles, right? It's mind-blowing, dude. It's actually mind-blowing how bad they fucked this up. I didn't know it was actually possible to fuck something up this bad. It is very rare that I actually refund a title on Steam. It almost never happens. I think in the decade or so that I've played on Steam, I've probably only done it less than half a dozen times. However, this game is such a complete shit show that I have almost no choice, I feel like, but to refund it in its current state, because this is it's bullshit. I'm just gonna call it for what it is. Like, if this is gonna be the industry standard now, where they're gonna take games that you grew up with and loved, they're gonna re-release them 20 years after they came out, they're gonna make them worse, they're gonna make them less functional, they're gonna ruin the fucking experience of it, I would almost rather have no remasters, or no remakes, or no re-releases, any of it. Because if you're just gonna take the game that I grew up with, that I loved playing, like, I remember the day I got Battlefront 2 for the PS2, all these years later. I remember the day I got this game from my aunt, because I was such a huge Star Wars fan back in the day. If you're gonna ruin that shit for me and you're gonna re-release it and completely fucking destroy it, I don't even want you guys to touch the old games anymore. Like, I am more than capable of playing those titles still. And like I said, even on, like, for all my Steam players out there like me, you can still get the OG Battlefront 2 for $10. I infinitely recommend that than buying this clusterfuck as it stands. Now, I don't know if the multiplayer works in the original release. I'm assuming it probably doesn't, and that's why, you know, this whole classic collection shit came up anyway. But I mean, bro, you're gonna be relegated to playing single player anyway. You might as well just get the fucking original game for $10. Like, you literally can't lose at that point, man. You cannot lose for $10 when it comes to this game. You can lose for $35 on the new release, but you can't lose for $10 on the OG. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, it's very rare that something like this, like, legitimately gets under my skin and pisses me off. It's kind of like how they did it with, like, the trilogy with Grand Theft Auto, right? Where they took 3 iconic games that we all grew up with that absolutely revolutionized open world games and whatnot, and then they completely fucking butchered them and turned them into, like, the mobile ports and whatnot, basically, and then they re-released that for a huge AAA price. Like, it's kind of fucking pathetic as a company to be able to say, hey, 7 years ago, Call of Duty and the folks at Activision made a better remaster than we did that's more true to form to the OG game. And they're one of the worst companies, and they destroy everything they fucking touch, and they've ran COD into the ground. But dude, Modern Warfare Remastered is probably still playable to this day and is able to be fun. And it came out, yeah, like 7 fucking years ago, 8 years ago or something at this point, right? Yet the classic re-releases and remasters and bullshit they're just junk, dude. Like, can we get a company that actually fucking respects these games to make them, man? I don't know. It just, like I said, it pissed me off. I know it pissed a lot of other people off, but I'm trying to wrap my head around how this kind of fuck up is actually possible. The original game worked, you know what I mean? It worked for what it was. How did you somehow fucking regress that? How did you manage to ruin that somehow? I don't know, dude. It's just getting to that point where, I mean, like, thankfully, I will say, I didn't pre-order this. I'm glad to say that. I didn't fucking pre-order this. I had a little bit of doubt and suspicion, just because, you know, I know how Star Wars games go, unfortunately. If you're a Star Wars fan and a gaming fan at the same time, man, it seems like we're in fucking eternal punishment sometimes. But I got it, like, an hour before it was supposed to fucking release, and dude, even then, you can't avoid just getting completely fucking ripped off. Like, can we get a company that makes games that doesn't just fuck people over? I don't know, bro, but anyway, I had to talk about this today, dude. I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. I tried to give them, you know, a very significant amount of time through the first day. I mean, it was stormy as shit here yesterday in Ohio, too. We had fucking tornadoes and all kinds of shit going on all across the state and in Indiana and Kentucky and shit, so I had to stop recording for a good portion of the day at certain times. And even through all that, they didn't fix the problems or whatever that was going on. So I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. I tried to give them a little time to fix the server problems, maybe, you know, issue a day 1 patch or something that corrected some of these issues. But even trying to give these fucking assholes the benefit of the doubt, this is what you get, bro. You try to give them time to correct shit, and this is what you get. I don't know, man. It's inexcusable, to say the least. If you purchase this on Steam, I don't like telling people what to do, like, as consumers and whatnot, because it's your money that you spent on the game, not mine, but I genuinely recommend you refund this shit. Even if, like, you're enjoying the single player and whatnot, bro, just refund your $35, go buy the actual OG classic releases and play those. And if you're looking for the multiplayer fun of it and whatnot, sure, me too. I get it. I wanted to play it too. But as it stands, it's not worth your 35 bucks. It's not worth your time. It's really not worth the headache. So anyway, with that being said, man, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, just absolutely befuddled and signing out. And that's a wrap on this video, but big shout out to my Optimus Nation supporters. You guys are the real MVPs. For $10 a month, you get access to loads of exclusive videos and archived live streams, my members only Minecraft server where you can possibly appear in gameplay, early access to all new uploads, an invitation to the private Discord, and much more.